Hey guys, so just very quickly, I want to go through how to run a t-test in SPSS because I realize that there's no video out there for how to do that. So I'm going to briefly show you how to do this. So if you open up SPSS and you have this data file right here, you go to File, Import Data, and then you go to Text Data or CSV Data, and then my file is in, yeah, it's right here. So I'm going to actually be using the first file in the data set. I'm not going to show you how to do it for all the other files, but just because this is kind of last minute, I'm going to be using this. So when you find this, make sure that you know where you saved it and that you're able to locate this. If you're on the VCL, keep in mind that you need to transfer this file onto the VCL for you to be able to find it, because the VCL doesn't have access to your own computer. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Alright, and so the only thing that I want to do here is, I actually don't have to do anything here. Usually this would be checked off, but it's not. So just click on next, next, and then finish. And so I think I've advised you before to rename these variables to something that is more suggestive. So in this case, the V1 is depression, I believe. Yes, depression scores. And then V2 is whether they got the drug or not. So I renamed these variables. So I'm going to go back to data view. 1 means they got the drug. 0 means they didn't get the drug. So the first question asks you to look at the difference in the sample means. So to do that, you literally just have to compare the means. So you would go to Analyze, Descriptive, Compare Means, and then go to Means. And then you would throw depression into the dependent list and then drug or not in the independent list. And then you would click OK, and here you get the mean for someone who took the drug, and the mean for someone who took the drug here in 1, and then the mean for someone who didn't take the drug here in the 0. So all you have to do now is subtract, take the difference between these two, and then you can answer that question. So the next thing is doing a t-test. So these are 2 independent groups. You have people who took the drug and people who didn't take the drug. So the appropriate test to use is an independent t-test. So you would again go to Analyze, Compare Means, and you would go to Independent Samples t-test. And so the test variable is the depression score, and then the grouping variable is whether they took the drug or not. And so in this case, you have to tell SPSS what your groups are. So we have 0 people who didn't take the drug and 1 people who did take the drug. So then you would hit OK. And so here you have the results of the independent t-test. The questions that you have in your assignment ask you how many degrees of freedom you get, and so you can see that your degrees of freedom are here. And yeah, so, and then you're also asked how many people are in each treatment group of the experiment. So here you can see the n's for each of the groups. And the p-value or the significance level you can find here. So you are assuming equal variances, it's 0.208. If the answer doesn't have 0.2, then you just approximate to 0.21. And so since this isn't significant, you would conclude that this drug probably doesn't really make a difference. Okay. So that's it for how to do an independent samples t-test. If you wanted to do a like paired samples t-test, so to do that, I'm actually going to go ahead and download the SAD file right here, which is what you are supposed to use. So basically, the first 4 files, you kind of have to do the same thing all over again. It's independent samples t-test.